I'm not the girl that guys find attractive. I've never had a boyfriend. I've never had a guy ask me on a date. I've shown interest in men for them to just, blow me off or be mean about it. I have never felt beautiful or like wanted by someone. And I think it really does make you feel a certain way about yourself. Now that I'm on this like weight loss journey and I've lost 74 pounds, I'm starting to open myself up to hoping for more, hoping that maybe things will change, but also really afraid that what if it wasn't my size all along? What if I'm just not worthy of pursuit? What if I'm just not the person who gets to have a family? And that's okay. There's so many people who live wonderful and full lives without being married and children and having children. And I know that I'll be okay if I don't have that. I just always dreamed of it. And people want to like tell you that it's not your size, it's just the type of guys you're going for. Well, no, I really do think that it was my size, and that's why I've been alone.
All right, Queen, I'm going to give you some props here because you actually recognize that, yeah, it more than likely was your size, which is the primary reason you found yourself alone. Now, that being said, there's a difference between actually having a relationship and having intimacy, but you are talking about the relationship part of this equation. You see, the reason that most men don't feel as sorry for overweight women as they do for overweight men is because although overweight women can still have physical intimacy, there are guys out there who will come in and spend a night or two with you. Overweight men don't get that. I'm not saying that as a dig at you, honey. I'm just spitting the facts here. Will I say that your weight is the reason that you never actually had a relationship? I would say directly about 80%, indirectly 100%. Why the indirect part? Because it's obvious that you have emotional scarring because of your weight. Now, this gorilla is going to applaud you to be on this weight loss journey. It's outstanding that you're doing it, but I advise that you do more than just that. Why? Because I have to say it, even though it's going to hurt. You're not acting very feminine here. You're looking very boyish, and weight loss is not going to fix that. So you really have to work on that. You have to learn that pretty isn't just a word. Pretty is a lifestyle that you have to work at. The quicker you learn that, the sooner you'll get that family you want so much. I just got to say it, fam. This girl has got to be honest with herself. Does she really know how to dress herself in a thin body? I don't think she's mentally prepared to be able to capitalize on the new thin body that she's about to turn into. And again, I'm going to recommend therapy, honey, because if you were put into a skinny body today, you probably still wouldn't attract anybody because you have some unresolved issues. Before we move on, I want to bring attention that 70% of my viewers are not subscribed to my channel. Come on, fam. You've seen my logo on other channels, and you're already here. Please hit that subscribe button and support the channel. It really helps out. Moving on.
You know what I think the hardest part about dating as a bigger girl is? It's literally how much guys care about what their friends think. Now, obviously this is not true for every single guy, but I truly think it is for like majority of them. I was talking to this guy yesterday about like things he looked for when he was like looking for a girlfriend. He said he wants his friends to like want her, but know that like they can't have her. I just straight up asked him, I was like, this is really like, most guys do think this way, right? And he was like, yeah, I think just a lot of us guys are like territorial. And he said, if they don't want your territory, it's not fun. And I think where this comes into play as being a bigger girl is like, you're not gonna be everyone's cup of tea, which is totally fine. I get that, and I would never expect that to be the case. And I've always said this, I've always believed this, is at the end of the day, the guy is going to be with the girl that he is the most attracted to, and also the girl that his friends are gonna be the most attracted to. I mean, I don't know, maybe I am wrong, but if you're a guy and you're watching this, I would love to hear your point of view. But I just think it's funny because the difference for girls is like, I've liked guys and my friends have like looked me dead in the eyes and been like, Jordan, no. But like their opinion has never swayed me if I was like into that guy and I thought he was attractive. Tell me if you feel this way too, if you're a bigger girl, because honestly, if I find a guy, I like a guy, sometimes I get nervous, like more nervous that his friends aren't going to find me attractive than if he finds me attractive. Because I worry if his friends don't think I am, they could easily persuade him, which is like crazy because that's not someone you want to be with anyways, but like these are thoughts that go on in my brain. So yeah, that is my little dating rant of the day. Love you guys.
Emotional damage.
Well, Queen, for the average guy out there, when they see big girls, they usually go with the motto, they're like mopeds. They're fun to ride, but you don't want all your friends to see you riding one. Now, not every man's like this, and I would venture to say that the older men get, the more they're going to care about her age than her actual size. I've seen plenty of 50-year-old guys going out with a plus-size 24-year-old, but that's not what this queen is talking about. You see, she wants to date a guy around her age. And she's saying that, oh, well, this is what's inside guys' heads, and I can't believe it's like this. Oh, you mean kind of like when women, even plus-size women, will look at a guy and say, you're not tall enough for me? As in something he can't control, but you can control your own weight. I'm sorry, Queen, it's called preference. Sorry, not sorry there, Queen. You have got to understand that for a young man, his reputation is quite important to him because it's one of the few things that he has to his name. And even though a gym bro will sleep with a woman who weighs maybe 50% more than he does, he'll have a good time with her, but he's not going to want to show her off. How about this crazy idea here? If you want to be with a guy and not worry about him not wanting to show you off, why don't you do something like, oh, I don't know, control your own weight. Lose the weight. Get in shape. Physically match him. Be attractive. Then you won't have this insecurity. I mean, you ask for opinions, there it is. Drop the donut and pick up a salad. Sorry to tell you, Queens, but even the guys that'll be with you in secret, those guys that are with you but won't show you off to their friends, that's a temp relationship. But hey, can you blame him when you can't control your calorie intake? Obviously, with this mentality, it looks like a slice of pie to you is more important than your peace of mind of being in a relationship with a guy. Moving on.
Welcome back to my series, As a Fat Babe. The biggest things that I had to get over when I started being intimate with people and growing my confidence was the fact that some people are gonna reject you, girl. So recently I hung out with this guy. He was kind of cool, so I was like, let's hang out, let's go swimming. So we decided to go to a local watering hole and go swimming. So I picked him up at like 11 o'clock in the morning and he got in the car and he was like cute, girl. He was like dark and he was like gorgeous, like Samoan, and I was like, what a vibe. As the day went on, we did vibe, we did get on, but it wasn't like the most immaculate vibe where I was like, oh my God, like take my pants off, girl. I was like, yeah, he's cool, it was fun, you know what I mean? I could see like a little bit of potential. So we went swimming and we were talking and then I dropped him back. Anyway, he didn't like message me after to say thank you, which is so damn rude, by the way, because like I picked your ass up and you didn't want to come and say thank you. Point of the story is that I picked him up and dropped him off and we hung out, and then he never messaged me, and then he blocked my ass. I feel like the universal thing with being a fat girl in those situations is like he didn't like me because I was fat. Like that's why he didn't like me. And girl, who the cares if you're fat or not? That man doesn't know how to communicate. I'd rather be fat and gorgeous, which I am, but be able to communicate my feelings, and he obviously didn't know how to do that. If he didn't vibe with me or he didn't like what I was giving and what I was going to happen, then he should have communicated with that with me and said, hey, I really appreciate hanging out with you. It wasn't really the vibe, getting there, being there, whatever, so good luck in the future. Do you know what I mean? Like that's what we need to learn as fat girls. It's not about how you look, it's about the other person not knowing how to communicate. And that's for anyone in general who gets ghosted. Girl, it's not about you, okay? It's about the other person not knowing how to communicate. It's normal to not vibe with someone. It's normal to meet people and not get on with them as well as you thought you would online, okay? That is so normal. That's a human interaction thing. But if you don't know how to communicate that in the end, that's your fault. And that's just embarrassing.
Hey, buddy, let me clue you in.
Fam, the irony that she said that she went to a local watering hole was not lost on me there. And sister, I just gotta say, when you said that you are heavy and gorgeous, I'm gonna go ahead and disagree with you there. Yeah. I mean, it's good that you have the self-confidence, but but that self-confidence gotta float somewhere in the aspect of reality. Now, she said that she picked him up, took him out, showed him a good time, dropped him off, and he ghosted her. Again, the irony here is not lost on this gorilla. You're talking to all these other women saying, yeah, this happened. I can't believe it. I promise you, just about 99.9% of all my male viewers heard that and they were like, really? We can't imagine how that feels. It's not like women never do it to men, right? I'm sorry, sister, but all the beef that you're saying here, no pun intended, is based on things that happen to men all the frickin' time. So, okay, if you're a plus-size girl, you're basically dating with the same weight on your shoulders as men do, no pun intended. But it's not really a reason to make this video and put it on blast like, OMG, I can't believe a guy did that. I mean, the average guy feels the weight of that loss, no pun intended, about once a week when he's actively dating. I mean, I could give a ton of examples, no pun intended, but you get the idea. You wanna know what the worst part about this? A queen like her will probably reject an overweight guy because she believes that she deserves a guy who's fine, so she can jump into bed with him and, rock his world. And I'm pretty sure she moves her folds like a master. But rejection is a thing for you now, honey. I mean, you're gonna have to bounce back from this one, no pun intended. Moving on!
Here's why I am always even the mere concept of dating as a fat person. When you meet me in real life, I ooze personality. I got a Leo rising, okay? I am going to be the life of the party. I'm going to be asking you about your childhood. Like, I am you're gonna be like, this girl's kinda weird, but like, I will be distinctive. I will be distinctive. And so immediately you will be able to tell who I am because I don't hide it, and I'm loud and I'm obnoxious. I'm a theater kid. But in dating, especially online dating, the first thing you see is somebody's appearance. You don't get a sense of who they are as a person. And when you just judge me off of my appearance, what are you going to see? You're going to see I'm fat. And that is going to make somebody so much more likely to attribute these fat tropes to me, which I have always been so just resentful of and so afraid of coming off as that. Like, I just really don't want people to see me and like assume all these really negative, by the way, things about me.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Oh, well, she's oozing something all right. I mean, yeah. I mean, I absolutely agree with her when she says that men are going to consider her kind of weird. Confidence is a good thing there, Queen, but you may want to not overstep your boundaries. I mean, confidence isn't going to make you 50 pounds lighter just because you confidently believe it. And I just got to say, Queen, if you're dating and you're overweight, and then you say you're obnoxious, I mean, that's not going to work. You either tip the scales too much or your personality is unbearable. Choose a struggle. And as to what you said about the dating profiles, let me get this straight. If they see your pictures and they see that you are overweight, then they're going to attribute overweight tropes to you. Really? That's like saying if they see me in a Walmart uniform, they're going to attribute the job to me. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the way it works. And I find it amazing that this woman is actually coming out here and saying, oh, don't judge me on my looks. You can't tell who I am just by my profile. Isn't that exactly what women do to men? They go straight to the height filter. Even before seeing the profile, I said, okay, if he's not at least 6 feet, I don't want to see him. You better pray that here in the US, they don't make a weight filter on those dating apps. Then it'll be a magic trick. You'll go from very visible to invisible.
If they just had one conversation with me, they would see that I am a whole and very interesting person, if I do say so myself. But because dating is so appearance first and appearance based, and even if you do meet somebody in person, it's assumed that like appearance is the first thing they judge and is the thing that'll get them interested or not. I just, I love myself so much. I think I'm such a wonderful person. And if you can't see that because you're too focused on my appearance, that makes me feel so just like invisible and small and unseen. And it makes me feel like I am all of the things that people assume about any fat person simply because it's like if the tree falls in the forest thing. If you perceive me that way, I am that way to you. And I don't want to be that way to anyone because I'm an individual human being and I'm not just a trope. But dating makes me feel like a trope.
If they have one conversation with you, they will see you are a whole person. Trust me, Queen. They don't need to talk to you to know that part. Oh, stop your yapping with dating is appearance first and it's the first thing they see. The hypocrisy is just coming out your pores. Listen, sister, you women, even as heavy as you are, will just look at a guy who's like 5'4" and say, nope, I ain't dating him. He's too short for me. You are the masters of this stuff. Look in the mirror. You see that gut that you have? You can control that. You can make it go down. You can get on a diet. You can start doing exercises. There are no amount of push-ups, sit-ups, or running that a guy who's under 6 feet can do to make him 6 feet tall. Hell, the average is 5'9", and women of your size will just say, you're not tall enough for me. When you should be asking yourself, hey, do you know how to cook and how big is your fridge? Because for this to work, I have needs, and they're pretty evident. And you're right, it's perceived that way. Like you said, if the tree falls in the forest, or if you trip over in your apartment, I'm pretty sure the downstairs neighbor's gonna know all about it. And this is all hurt your fifis? Well, that sounds like a you problem. You wanna know how you can fix all these fifis? Again, everything is in your control. Calorie intake, cut it down. And dating makes you feel a bad way? What dating should be doing for you is making you feel like jumping on a treadmill.
Fatality.
Flawless victory.
I'm just saying, if you enjoy this audit, click on the video in the end screen for more content. If you would like to support the channel, please follow the link in the description to donate to our beer fund, or like, subscribe, and share this video on other social media platforms. If you agree or disagree with anything about this audit, please let us know in the comments. I'm going to leave this audit right here. I'll see all of you in the next episode.